Thanks, George, for that very warm welcome. I would love to start with a guessing game because I think it's fun to engage with the audience. What walks with 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 in the evening? And would love to see your answer in the chat, so I know you're engaging and having fun with me. I have to live up to Susan Briscoe comment in the book. If anyone needs any hints, it's a social animal. So let's review the chat here. Human, excellent. You are a winner, Catherine. Yes, when we're young, we're a baby, we walk on 4 legs. Once we graduate from that on 2, and then in our retirement, in our golden years, we do 3. I thought it was really amazing when I come across this riddle, and it's just really how amazing we are as a human being. I'm really happy to be here to share how I actualize my dreams with you. As I'm sharing my best practice of how I actualize my dreams, the book is short, just in 2 hours read. The objective in this presentation is simple. I really think anyone can actualize their dreams. All it takes is 1, the plan, and 2, the commitment. Benjamin Franklin said it more eloquently than I did. If you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. And you may ask, how am I so sure? I am sure because as an immigrant, I have nothing else. And to go back to what George was saying earlier, it's either do or die. I'd like to share my portfolio career with you first to give you some reference points. I have a lot of people to thank to get to where I am today. It's an amazing career across 2 geography in the US and here in Asia, across 3 departments with Intel in 6 different roles. I got the opportunity to work with people in the factory and supply chains, all the way in the back end and all the way in the front end, facing customer and marketing and anything in between. Got great opportunity to travel to 20 countries across 5 continents. Speaking of help earlier, while I got help to achieve my first dreams, I got my second dream lined up in the back of my mind from my own career advisor in college, Donna. She helped me get a job 3 months before I graduate. So while she communicated that news with me, I was totally excited, but my heart skipped a bit. I said, wow, this lady career, her job is phenomenal, right? She's getting to make that kind of impact to the people she helped. So I promised myself that one day when I have enough experience, I would want to follow her footsteps. So that's what I've done in 2018. I published the book, Actualize Your Dreams, and I joined in just as a career coach. This is why I help the local people return to the workforce by helping them to get a job. But it's also here, I saw many dreams shatters, and I said, wow, what can I do to really make an impact? One way is to go upstream. So 2 years later, in 2020, I joined Gecko Asia as the head of organizational development. That's because I want to help people to plan out their career so they don't get themselves in trouble with the kind of skill gap we're seeing today and lots of people out of work. I'm very happy that I have a bit of real estate on Google. I think you recognize most of this. The one that you may not recognize is Contact Singapore. And that is the Division of Economic Development Board in Singapore. They're the division who attract foreign direct investment and bring talents over to Singapore. I was very happy that they published my success story as an expat in Singapore. So given that background, let's move forward. I have another guess. What is the chance of you being born to your mom and dad? Just take a wild guess. Okay, let's have a look. 10 millions. Very good. It's huge, but you know what? It's even bigger than that. It's 1 in 400 trillions. And this is according to Dr. Ali of Harvard University. As you can see, we're really a miracle. I really want to encourage everyone to be the best version of myself, be bold, take action and actualize their dreams, because no one sees the world the way we are. So we're very unique individual. Quest. Do you have one today? What is your life quest? And in my research, it's very rare for people who know what they want. So for me, I feel very grateful that at 14, I knew what I wanted. I want to return to Asia to be that bridge between the East and the West. You might think this passion here is very fluffy, but it's what makes you happy when you execute, carry out your skill, your expertise. The third circle is value. What is the world willing to pay you for the expertise you're delivering? And that is really your unfair advantage. This is the piece what we really need to figure out, internalize for ourselves. If you're operating in this space, you will be happy and you'll be thriving from this space. So take some time to do this. So let me give you an example of how I chart out my path. I knew I want to come back to Asia to work. So every step of the way, I want to work really hard in middle school to ensure by the time I get to high school, I would be in a regular English class and no longer in the ESL class. In high school, I need to work really hard so that I could get a full tuition scholarship in college. That's because as immigrant, my family is not going to be able to afford my university tuition fee. And I was lucky to have that. In college, I knew if I want to get a really good job when I graduate, I need to work part-time to gain the experience. And I was lucky to be able to land a job before I graduation as well. I want to get an MBA because once I'm overseas, I may not have time. So I want to get that out of the way. I moved back to Sacramento to take care of my grandparents who've been taking care of me all these years. So I want to pay back. At that time, I studied part-time and I got an MBA. Then I worked really hard to get an opportunity to get Intel to relocate me overseas. Intel relocated me here in 2000. So I've been here 21 years. That's also a question that may come to your mind. How am I so sure that I actualize my dreams? Because I'm here 21 years. How I did all that planning and breaking down as the next level is I used SMART goal setting. If you search on Google, you see lots of it. What I've done here is I simplify it in ways that you can read and make sense and keep things simple, not get too complicated on the plan. It may be hard to execute it. When your goals are clear, take time to internalize the 3 overlapping circles that we talked about. So your goal has to be specific, it's simple, it got to be meaningful to you. And if it's meaningful to you, it's attainable because it's relevant to your capability, your resource to achieve it by a specific timeline. The chart just now, every step of the way I chart it out, I have a timeline for myself. I set a competitive goal. And obviously I didn't do everything myself. I reached out for help. And I really recommend anyone who want to reach their goal is to have a mentor, to have a coach, have them be your accountability partner. Next, I want to move on to commitment, which is the second part. All the hard work in high school really paid off when I applied for the international business and got in Golden Gate University. It's a small private school in San Francisco. That's through a series of interviews. I was able to stand out and got selected. However, all my hard work didn't end there. I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to carpool to San Francisco with the people who live in Sacramento but work in San Francisco. That is because I'm Asian, and within the Asian family, you're an Asian woman, you don't really move out of the house until you're married. However, in my second year at Golden Gate University, it was very hard to be traveling back and forth. So I looked for a part-time job. I got a friend introduced me to the computer lab and got a part-time job there. And that time I told my mom that I'm really passionate about this field, international business. And now I can be self-sustained because my scholarship paid for my tuition already. So she was happy to let me move out. Otherwise, I'll be going back and forth and be really tired. And I worked year-round. I went to summer school and was able to graduate in 3 years. And while in high school, I also went to community college. I got 12 credits already. That also helped to get things speed up. So you may be asking, what is Christie's secret recipe? I'll share that with you. Very simple. These days, it's a lot of noise coming through in our environment. So it takes tremendous effort to filter out the noise, the concerns that we may have. Am I going to succeed? Am I going to fail? So on and so forth. What people are going to think of me, the list go on. And really focus on the 2 inner circle. The circle influence is something you can influence. then it's worth spending time. The one you have total control with is the smallest thing. If you work on the circle of control, it may be small to start with, but over time, I think you get bigger and you have more influence, and it will minimize the circle of concern. As I share with you, I had nothing as an immigrant. All I have to do was just really focus. Speaking of focus, I'm not sure if anyone who have taken the Clifton Strength Finders, focus is actually my number 2 on the top 5. I totally demonstrate here as well with my journey. I've shared with you my portfolio earlier. I just want to share another way you can show your career portfolio. And this is through a T shape. The body of the T is your specialty. I recommend maximum 2. Ideally, they're adjacent to one another. For me, it's sourcing and people development. When I have a problem to solve, I'm going to leverage on where do I get the best resource to fix my problem. I can forecast what's coming ahead, so I develop my team so that they can capture the next level as well. The top of T is my cross-functional role. Earlier, I shared with you, and I demonstrate this in the T shape, 2 geographies, 3 departments, sales and marketing, IT, and marketing. And the 6 different roles I have: supply chain, distribution, procurement. I did this bracket here because this was in the US, and in Singapore, IT solution delivery, channel marketing, and coaching now. Since I really love the Alt MBA, it's all about sharing what you know so that we can all learn from one another. I'll give you a sneak peek on what I'm building in my second portfolio. And this time I'm using the O. It's the whole array of my experience over time. So I have moved from Intel, which is high tech, to high touch, moved from the East to the West, and now I'm back to East. I joined a private sector. I moved over the public sector as a career coach. Now I moved back to a private sector with Gecko Asia. I was a journalist when I starting out, but now I have over time have really internalized and validate that people development is the specialty I want to take forward. So that's where the coaching thing come in. My first job was Sonic Solution, Intel, then Ingest. And now with Gecko Asia, we support all the MSc clients. I get to support the consultant who works here. I don't have to move to different MSc to have the experience. It would just be one place, Gecko Asia, that I can help these people to develop and to be an even better IT consultant. And I invite all of you to link in with me. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Last thing I want to end with call to action. As you saw at the beginning, I started with a quote. I love quotes. I want to end here with another quote. The journey start up 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's really how I start my journey. If you take one step at a time, it's not overwhelming. If you think it's going to be 1,000 miles, my God, it can be really crazy. Figure out what is your unfair advantage by that 3 overlapping circle: passion, expertise, and the values we're willing to pay. Then plan your path. The next is take one step at a time to actualize your dreams. Why now? So if you reflect back with the guessing game, from young, eventually we're gonna get older. So we want to capitalize on the opportunity as early as possible. If you spend earlier years working really hard, going after your plan, then you can really enjoy your later year, because early you have lots of energy, but not a lot of wealth. As you build your portfolio, you build your wealth, but your energy at this time is less than before. My recommendation, find a sweet spot for yourself. The sooner the better. Be an action dreamer. I think it's important to not just have dreams, but to take action. That's how you can actualize your dream. Thank you and good luck.